paper,
this is how
India
it
has
goes.
to be,
Paper,
yeah,
yes.
on paper, India has to start as a favorite. I think the way not to take India here is just to make an internal competition of it inside our studio. Because
Yes.
I think somebody should just take Uzbekistan so that somebody gets bragging rights.
Are you
I would
sacrifice yourself?
sacrifice.
Yes.
I would take Uzbekistan. Obviously, you guys should give me odds, but
Maybe I will say it's gonna be a draw. Let's do it this way. So Peter, you'll take India. I will take draw, and you.
Five. Yeah. And one below, and I think on that we'll stop with the roundup of pairings for the open section. Germany, who has not had a very easy start to the tournament, they've won a few matches on the bounce and are now playing against Armenia and Vincent Keimer, who had a bit of trouble in the early rounds, beginning by actually 1 out of 3. He lost his first and third games. He won some games since and is doing a bit better, I guess.
Germany lost 2 matches actually in this tournament, and definitely had to win everything.
both of them when Vincent lost.
I heard from the trainer that they're doing normally quite well against Armenia, but still, of course, this match is just a new one. And
Marquee matchup before switching to the women's section. We'll show you the positions in the match between India and Uzbekistan. As promised, a Sicilian on board 1, Nodirbek Abdusattorov, playing 6 on move 2. Gukesh, I guess, trying to maybe win a couple of minutes here by going knight c3, asking, do you want to play a6? Do you want to think about your moves? But no, knight f6, e4, and we're back in very familiar territory. a6, Gukesh says, not interested in playing any of the sharp stuff. Let's play a4, a move which is, it has existed forever, but is not really supposed to be very much, because after e5, knight f3, and bishop e7, this is reminiscent, there's a lot of positions in that like that. a4 is one. You can also play a similar line by playing bishop e3 and moving the knight to f3. If black plays e5, differences are subtle. Obviously, if you begin by playing a4, bishop might want to go to g5, and you save a tempo and not putting it on e3 first. On the other hand, you've committed to something on the queen side already, which is it's a move you normally make anyway, but maybe you would have wanted to develop a piece instead. But the interesting choice came later. This is, I think, quite unusual. I'm sure that it has been played. I'm sure this is not a novelty. But honestly, by move 8, this is about as close to a novelty in a well-established Nodirbek as it can get. Because my screen says 10 games.
yeah, it's not
For a very, very mainstream Nodirbek position by move 8, 10 games is nothing. 10 games is pretty much a novelty in common sense terms.
Actually, sort of curious how you're going to approach this position. Obviously, you combine a couple of plans. Generally, I've seen the bishop go on the other diagonal, obviously, either c4, maybe d3 as well, especially after a4, because you're not getting hit with b5. Now, you're going to combine that with getting the bishop on g2. Do you want to transfer the knight to c4? Is that the plan?
I don't think you will ever be allowed to. I think the plan, the question for me is exactly what you're talking about. Where is this knight going to go?
c2, a7, and now Gukesh. Gukesh can play knight a3 and trigger a peaceful result. Nothing happened in this game. It was just maneuvering. The same structure was maintained. I think that no reason for Gukesh, who's down on the clock, for any shenanigans given Arjun's position.
Do you think he's going to be agreeing to repetition?
Yeah, I think so. And, he understands that Prague is worse, but Arjun is better than Prague is worse. Prague has serious chances. Arjun very likely to win. Again, that look to the side. I think we're going to see a handshake.
It does it all, right? Yeah, I mean, this was exactly the scenario of Tanya. You're looking, then looked on the side, and that's when you're going on downhill with your decision. When you start considering that, okay, maybe I should, you go look at the other games, and practically almost it doesn't matter what you see, you go for a draw.
Mm-hmm. And listen, maybe he'll look like a fool, but the problem is, you got to pass pawn, but black has this d4 square, so the moment you take your eye off of it, black sinks his teeth into d4. The d6 pawn is a weakness in name only. It's perfectly well protected. Gukesh now down to 10 minutes. Looking to the side. Darting across are his eyes. To the score sheet they go. And back to the hotel room, I think the players will soon go. I don't know why.
And it's interesting.
Like Yoda suddenly.
What is he playing?
Knight a3. And Nodirbek doesn't even claim repetition. I mean, he's confident in his position.
The interesting thing with this pawn on b4, that in 1 second you think it's a powerful pass pawn, and the other moment you think it's a weakness. It's kind of a tricky pawn on b4.
It's like those illusions, right? You look at it closely, it's an old lady, and then you stand a little further, it's a young woman. And Gukesh, actually, I apologize, he is the one who can fix the draw with knight c2. He got up there, took a millisecond look at his teammates, sat back down. There's no other move, Judith. b5 knight d4 is foolish.
Yes, because then suddenly the a3 knight is very much out of play. The knight on d4 centralized, threatening with knight f3 fork and knight b3 at the same time. So white would get not a good position. So white should guard the d4 square by playing knight c2.
I'm going to give the guarantee that we will see repetition. There's no way Gukesh with this. He's looking around, and it's that mental release, and he's done it. And a look at his opponent, eyebrows raised. Shall we call it a day? Yes, we shall.
Yes.
But they shall. We shall not. We still got games going. Mike.
But they are looking for an arbiter who just arrived.
Handshake.